What's up, YouTube? CJ Extreme here with a brand new commentary. Last one was about a dream that did fairly well, so I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I'm doing another one now. This time, it's about my own personal dream game. What it would be, how I would design it, or whatever, what would be in it, and all that stuff. Now, I don't really see a lot of these on YouTube, or at least from the people that I watch. And maybe it's because they're just not commentary channels, or maybe they just don't really care about the subject itself, or maybe they're concerned that they might say the idea and then it gets stolen, and that would suck. I mean, I would hate for that to happen to me. So I'm gonna try to leave out story-based stuff. It's just gonna be the details and the I guess the things within the game that I would have personally. So this all came from the games that I've played over the years, and even trying to take out the issues that I've had playing video games such as Fallout, like you see on the screen, or Horizon Zero Dawn, that will be on the screen later on in this video, or in WWE games, and etc. basically. So I tried to make a game that would be just the best for me. So first off, it would be an RPG. An RPG is a role-playing game, by the way. So full customization for your character. You have a bunch of different outfits to choose from. Appearance, you can change it. You can change the color, pattern of your outfits. You have, you can choose a male or female, whatever. You can be an animal. You can be whatever. You can be, what is it, anthropomorphic mammal, which is where they walk on two legs. They act pretty much like a human, but they just look like an animal. You can do that. You can encode your voice into the game. I know this is by the way, this is all very far-fetched. I mean, I'm pretty sure I would not be able to do this if I tried to do it. But this is just what I think. And you have a ton of different names to choose from multiple different countries and continents, trying to basically narrow it down to where you can have your name in the game. It'll be split up into sections so nothing gets too confusing. There will be 5 different builds, alright? So, you got the normie. So the normie is basically the well-rounded character. You have the shooter, you have melee specialist, you have a pacifist. If you don't really want to be the violent type, you like the adrenaline rush of running, you can be a pacifist, and you can just escape any forms of confrontation at all times. That's basically your initiative in the game. Or maybe if you want to be a genius, maybe you don't want to do the fighting yourself, maybe you want someone to do it for you, and you can be a genius, and you can manipulate everyone that you encounter and get them to do what you want. I'll have more details about those classes later on, alright? So the perk chart, it would have perception, which helps with aiming and the 5 senses. Movement, which is basically agility, how fast you run, the stamina that comes with it, all that stuff. Strength, of course, how much you can carry, how much damage you do when you do a melee attack, can you break through walls or whatever, strength like that. Intelligence, self-explanatory. Charisma, I believe that's self-explanatory, but basically you can, I mean, most of these are self-explanatory to be honest, but regardless. Charisma, you're able to pass speech challenges similar to Fallout, but it also helps you make more friends, basically. So if you want to have companions, allies along your side, you can be a more charismatic leader, and they're like, oh, I like this guy or girl. They're really cool. Transportation is the final perk. So this is mostly about driving. There'll be driving in the game as well. This game's going to have a lot of stuff in it, by the way. It's ridiculous. So it's going to have driving. You can also, you can have a bike, you can have skateboard, scooter, you can have a horse, you can freaking fly a jet, you can be in a helicopter, any form of transportation, you name it, or minus teleportation, right? Or anything magical. That's reserved for what we're going into right now. The main boss, so the final boss that you run into in the main story, will be using magic, and you can get magic over the course of the game through side quests and main missions. Mostly main missions, some side quests might help you here or there for secret stuff. And then you also have no aim assist when you're shooting. Now, some people like aim assist a lot. It makes the game a lot more easier and a lot more fun for you. But I like more of a challenge when I play a game. So, no aim assist, like you can see just now with the Death Claw and how I just used the lock on or whatever. None of that. But you do have lock on during your melee combat, so you can focus on the different enemies. You don't have to be like changing your camera around and shit. It will just lock onto the enemy and the camera will turn towards them to help you. And you can choose, of course, the option to change that. Now, I know there's a lot of stuff that goes into making a video game, but this is more of me just kind of narrowing it down to the things that maybe people mostly care about, you know? The resolution. I don't think you really need to have 4K. I know people may be like, oh yeah, all games should be in 4K, bro. Oh, that's great. But I don't even think they even have the capabilities to go into 4K yet. Now, they're saying that they do, but it doesn't, at least in my opinion, doesn't look too different from 1080p, alright? But regardless of that, high frames per second, if I were making a game, and I don't really get how this happens, if I were the one making a video game, I wouldn't want any glitches in my video game. I would play it over and over, and just every time I see a glitch, okay, this is a problem. I don't like this. Let's fix the glitch. Now, there is something that can happen where you fix a glitch, but then you make more problems. Okay. Then I guess we'll just have to deal with it and just have to go through with it until we get it to where there are little to no glitches, at least no game-breaking ones for the most part, alright? Because that just always bothered me. I'm like, dude, did you not notice this glitch at all? I mean, I noticed it the first day I started playing the game. You're telling me you didn't see it once? Like, that's just kind of ridiculous to me. And then the day one patches for video games, too. That's just kind of weird to me. Like, why are you releasing an unfinished game so that when I download it, I also have to download, wait a minute, this update file for the game? Like, come on, man. Now, sometimes you download the game faster and you just download the, what is it called? You download the update by itself and then just go straight into the game, like, rather quickly, which is cool. Not always the case, but that's pretty cool that happens. Continuing. Each build will have their own different background stories that will be referenced by the NPCs they encounter. NPCs being non-player characters. So let's talk about the builds. Let's just go into more detail about that. So basically we will have the normie, which is a well-rounded, as I mentioned before. Everything is completely balanced out. The shooter will have high perception, so they have really good aiming because that's their specialty. They have balanced intelligence because, you know, they're really more so like a hired gun-esque, basically. They're not really trying to get the intel or anything. They're just more they're out to kill, basically, with the gun. They have low strength, so they're not really good at melee combat. They're used to having a gun in their hands, so they're not very good at, or they're not very strong in terms of beating people up or whatever, or in combat. Good movement, so strafing and such, that helps out, or holding a sniper in place the way you want to, so you have to worry about it straight or moving back and forth while you're trying to focus on the enemy. They will have good transportation skills, so they're able to drive and ride whatever. Everything's fine. They're just not going to be able to do like anything too crazy when they're driving. They can't like freaking one hand on a bike or whatever. They can't be doing tricks on a skateboard. They can ride a skateboard. They just can't do anything crazy on it, you know? Actually, I take that back. Because good, I just saw something else that I wrote down here, the balance or whatever. Good would actually mean that you are able to do crazy stuff. Just not anything insane, like tricks or whatever. Regardless, they have balance, charisma, melee specialists, balance, perception. They have good self-awareness, but they're not going to be like really good with a gun, you know. Low intellect, they're more like a brute sort of character. High strength, of course. Good movement, so in combat they can dodge or whatever. Low charisma, and balanced transportation. So that's more what I described earlier. Aside from like whatever. I think you understand. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to be too repetitive of what I'm saying. Pacifist, low perception, good intelligence, low strength, high movement, so they're really good at avoiding people or whatever and running, and they're really fast. High transportation, so they're good at all that stuff, and good charisma to convince people from beating or prevent people from like killing them. And then the genius, good perception, high intellect, of course, low strength, low movement, good transportation, and high charisma so that it can convince other enemies to work for them. So that's pretty much the basis of what it would be like. If you like that, that's cool. If you have your own idea, you can put it in the comment section below. I mean, I'm open to it. I don't really get comments like that, so if you want to do a comment, feel free. I'm down with that. If you want to make a video inspired by this and you want to make your own video related to this topic, then I mean, by all means, go ahead. Don't feel like you're stealing anybody's idea. I just got 600 subscribers. I mean, it's not that much, you know. It's not like PewDiePie numbers or whatever. So, I mean, it's perfectly fine if you want to do something like this. But leave a like if you enjoyed this, and I guess later. We got like 7 seconds left. Let's just wait it out. Just wait it out. And I believe we're done.